The Elite Dangerous community is always eager for new ships, and the arrival of the Gutamaya Corsair has sparked a lot of excitement, but also a bit of debate. Marketed as a successor to the Imperial Clipper and a superior alternative to the Faulcon deLacy Python Mark I, the Gutamaya Corsair certainly has some impressive stats, but taking a deeper look, I can't help but ask, is it really going to be a game-changing multi-role ship that Frontier is promising? Or is it going to be another overhyped addition to the fleet? Now before we get started, let's get one thing straight. The Gutamaya Corsair is a beautiful looking ship. Gutamaya's trademark sleekness, its design, its elegance is on full display. And for pilots who appreciate form as much as function, it's hard to find fault in its aesthetic. However, we're going to have a little bit of a go. If you strip away the shiny hull, what are you going to be left with essentially is a refined Imperial Clipper with better internals. What's the biggest difference? Well, it's going to fit on a medium landing pad, and that alone, I think, is going to be a game changer compared to the Clipper. This is Gutamaya's first ever medium type ship. Brilliant. Good for them, which has been long limited, when you think about it, by having small and larger ships. The Clipper was limited by the fact it was a large pad requirement. But should we really be celebrating a new ship just because it fixes the old ship's biggest drawback? Well, that's the first question you can put into the comment and say, well, I don't know, yay or nay. But if you look at combat, is it really a step forward, but not really the leap that they're saying? There's no doubt that the Gutamaya Corsair has an impressive hardpoint loadout. 3 large and 3 medium hardpoints, all around the fuselage for that near perfect convergence. There's that word again, convergence. That's an undeniable improvement over the Clipper's wing-mounted hardpoints, and even a step up from the Python, which has long been a go-to bounty hunting ship and a PvE combat vessel. However, while the Corsair's size 7 power plant and its power distributor will allow it to run powerful weapon configurations, it still falls short of being a true combat beast. It's going to be multi-role. Its defences are nothing special, and really, even though its speed and manoeuvrability will be solid, it's still not quite fast enough to compete with specialised combat ships, I reckon, like the Federal Assault Ship or the Mamba. For PvE bounty hunters, the Corsair I think will be a great option. Corsair or Privateer? I don't know, but for PvP players looking for an alternative to the Python, perhaps the Corsair still leaves a lot to be desired. When we start thinking about trading, however, it's no slouch. One of the Corsair's biggest selling points is its maximum cargo capacity of 318 tons and the ability to manoeuvre, and it'll have a good jump range and all those weapons. So it's a clear improvement over the Python's 294 tons. Now with shields, it'll be 280 tons. No problem. It's solid. A solid option for you Elite Dangerous Commander traders. But let's be honest, it's an extra 20 or 30 tons really enough to make traders abandon their tried and tested Python builds? Who knows? Well, and there's also the Type 8 to think about. That's no slouch either. But what compromises the Type 8 is the horde of Class 1 hard points on it and only one Class 2. The answer really is going to depend on the pilot. While traders will appreciate the Corsair's better jump range and increased speed for avoiding those interdictions, ships like the Python will still hold a few advantages, I reckon, particularly in defensive capabilities. The Corsair, I don't think, with the amount of hard points it's got, given it's 1 Class 1, 1 Class 2, 1 Class 3, 1 Class 4, 3 Class 5, 3 Class 6, is going to be no slouch, right? It's not going to be fragile, but compared to the Python's brute force tankiness, it might be a little bit more vulnerable when running high value goods. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. If you look at exploration, again, I think it'll be good, but it's not the best. We have the Mandy, the good old Mandalay for that. And You know, let's face it, you want a bigger ship, you take a Conda. The Corsair's low drift model and superior maneuverability will make it a fun ship for planetary exploration. It's excellent for canyon runs, and it's certainly handled better in the Python in low gravity environments. But when it comes to true deep space exploration, will the Corsair break any records? Who knows? I mean, yes, it's got a lot of internal space, but then so do other ships. Okay, it's going to handle better. Great. Corsair's got size 7 thrusters in a medium ship. They can be stripped down, they say, to improve jump range. It still won't outperform dedicated exploration ships, I reckon. Or even, you know, it's going to be a hard push to get people out of their Crate Phantoms. For Explorer, the Corsair is a solid choice, but perhaps it's not a revolutionary one. And here's another thing. This fact that it's not going to be behind an Imperial rank. No Imperial rank required. But why? One of the most unexpected moves, perhaps, by Frontier was making the Corsair available to all pilots. Well, it's going to be for ARCs and then it's going to be in-game. So the Imperial rank requirement, why is it still even in-game? I don't know. I mean, so what? You're an Imperial Duke. So what? Okay, you've unlocked the ships. Okay, so what? Here comes the Corsair, best ship in the game, they're saying, for multi-role. Why bother going through all the pain? Does raise that question. If the Corsair is meant to be a true Imperial successor to the Clipper, why strip it of its exclusivity? Historically, Gutamaya ships have been locked behind rank walls, making them feel like a status symbol, a sense of achievement for dedicated Imperial pilots, those who like flying around in an iPod as opposed to the functional other ships of the Federation. By opening the Corsair to everyone, it almost feels like Frontier is watering down the prestige of Imperial ships, and certainly the Imperial rank. Really, I think it's going to be a solid ship, a really good all-rounder, but I don't think it's going to be a revolution that everyone's thinking it's going to be. I mean, let's be clear, it'll be a good ship. It'll redefine weaknesses of the Clipper, it'll offer better combat potential than the Python, and it'll provide traders with a little extra cargo capacity. It'll be a well-rounded multi-role ship that I reckon we're all going to enjoy. But is it truly a crate killer, a Python killer, and is it also going to get you out of that Clipper? Well, only time's really going to tell. The Python remains a rock-solid multi-role ship that excels in versatility, durability, and reliability. Those are the things you want. VDR. Versatility, durability, and reliability. The Corsair offers improvements in most of these areas, but does it render the Python obsolete? Who knows? And for those who already own and have heavily engineered their Pythons, and love their Pythons to death, will switch into the Corsair. Will it be worth the effort? At the end of the day, it's going to feel like an evolution, but probably not a revolution. It's going to be a welcome addition to Elite Dangerous, no doubt, but it doesn't really dramatically shake up the meta. Panther Clipper would. So what do you think? Is the Corsair going to be everything you're going to be hoping for in a ship in the game? Or is it going to be already another thing in the already overcrowded roster of a fleet? You let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see this time. Team Beak or no Team Beak? That's what I want to know.